The Piston Cup crash from the beginning of Cars 1 was probably one of the most memorable and most startling scenes from the entire movie. And yet Mattel only decided to release one of the damaged racers, and obviously that was Mood Springs, aka Chuck Armstrong, from the 2010 Final Lap collection. Now, if that sounded familiar to you guys, it absolutely should, because that is how I began what came to be the most viewed and popular video on my whole channel, part 1 to this, Cars 1 Damaged Piston Cup Racers. Piston Cup crash from the beginning of Cars 1 was probably one of the most memorable and most startling scenes from the entire movie, and yet Mattel only decided to release one of the damaged racers, and that was Mood Springs here at over 6 million views now. And here we are in December of 2024, over 6 years after that video debuted in summer of 2018, with part 2, the completion coming to fruition now with all 36 of the damaged Piston Cup racers. And I know what you guys are going to say, Lightning McQueen and Chick Hicks, they didn't fully crash in Cars 1. Why do you have them included? Because why the heck not? It's so much fun. Look at them. I mean, look at McQueen there. They're not as beat up as some of the other ones that are made to be realistic to the movie, and we'll get into that later. But I do want to follow up real quick on the race damage Mood Springs point, because in that original video, I said, you're going to have to fork over $200 if you want one of those. Well, here we are 6 years later. You're going to have to fork over about $400 to $500 if you're lucky to get one of those, especially if you want one in good condition and in the package. I've seen them go for $600 to $700 in the package now. That just goes to show you, don't hesitate. If you have the funds to do it now. Don't wait for another few more years, because it's only going to get more expensive. But, guys, I'm so pumped for this, and we're going to follow the same tradition as the original video and as all my damage accumulation videos, whether it be the World Grand Prix, Cars 3 Next Gens, Cars 3 Stock Cars, and go through each of these and compare them to their non-damaged counterparts. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Now, each and every comparison you see in this video will feature the Motor Speedway of the South version of the undamaged racer. That's right, that is the set, the only set where you could have gotten a real Mac iCar, the Apple racer from Cars 1. And all the racers were done with a beautiful, shiny, glistening coat of paint. It is the best of the best. And this video deserves nothing but the best. But before we move on, we have to address the customizer, the person responsible for crafting all these amazing racers, and that is Sensei Luminous. She did a stunning job with all of these, as she did with the World Grand Prix crashed racers, the Cars 3 Next Gens, and the Cars 3 Stock Cars, and I have no doubt that she carried that on into these. And a special thanks to her, because this was a ginormous project that she not only helped me acquire all these racers to do the customs, and you guys know some of these are harder to get than others, like Tank Coat, Misti Motorkrass, Vinyl Toupe, etc., than your common Kevin Shiftright, Kevin Racingtire that you can usually find at Walmart. Then she gets them, she takes them into the workshop, but not just willy-nilly damaging them. No, she studies the crash from Cars 1 and makes them as accurate to that crash as possible. Like, who bashed into who? Whose paint scraped off onto who should be bent up, and where should they be bent up, based on how it happened in the movie. Now, again, Chick and McQueen did not crash. Those are outside of that. Everyone else are super duper accurate, and that's what I absolutely adore about these customs, the attention to detail. So definitely check out her channel in the description there below, along with videos to all of those other categories that I listed off, the World Grand Prix racers, the Cars 3 Stock Cars, and the Cars 3 Veterans, both of which will require part 2s down the road as well. All right, guys, let's dive in here, starting with toe cap. Number 4, are we going to go numerically? Probably not, but hey, I think 4 is the lowest number in this video, so we're going to just roll with it. This is Rusty Cornfuel here, and now the custom was not done with the Motor Speedway of the South version. It was done with the Thailand variant of Rusty Cornfuel that came out at the beginning of this year that I reviewed. But this is not a Thailand versus China video. This is a damaged versus undamaged video. And let's dive in. Now, not only did Sensei Luminous damage these racers, but if there was an inaccuracy to begin with, she corrected that. And with Rusty here, that inaccuracy is the color of his wheels. They should be that kind of dark purple color, not just a blatant black that Mattel had always done. And it's very evident on the card art. You could see that he is supposed to have purple wheels. So what'd she do? Paint some purple. Now, the brunt of his damage seems to come here on his left side. And again, if you look back in the movie, that would make the most sense with his right side being relatively untouched toward the front there. But yeah, he's got this giant gash along the center there, which looks so cool, just so diabolical, just ching. Man, I love that. The back tire here taking a beating with some of that Lightyear text wearing off, and then getting a little bit bent upwards in the back here. Great attention to detail. Now, if you guys remember, when I did part 1 of this video, most of the racers still had their same expression that the normal released racer had. And that's fine. Diecast Dungeon did those customs long ago. I mean, before he started selling and really doing customs professionally. So that's totally fine. But with all due respect, these customs blow those out of the water because of the expression changes and just, again, that attention to detail. Not to say those previous customs are bad or belittled. They're all going to fit in wonderfully together, but there definitely is a difference in how the customizers went about crafting these. And yeah, you can see here some more damage there in that back right corner. Again, just beautiful how he kind of spread the paint around there, clouding it up, and also taking a few chips. You could see some carnage down here, but otherwise this front part stayed relatively unscathed. Rusty is very grateful for that. He's definitely one of the better racers in terms of how he came out of the crash. But yeah, ToeCap never been one of my favorite sponsors or anything, so it is kind of good to get him quote-unquote out of the way. I hate saying that, but hey, it's true. Let's continue going numerically, why not here, with Dale Earnhardt Jr. Now, it is a little unclear how he fared in the crash. They didn't really show a ton of him, but he did not escape the wrath of Sensei Luminous, and really myself in general. I wanted him, Chick, McQueen, all to be included in this. Of course, the King already got his at the end of the movie, so we're like, don't worry about him. Obviously, don't worry about Chuck Armstrong for Mood Springs. Do everyone else in that first movie. And Dale, yeah, he's got to be included. Now, obviously, we went with the main retail release of Dale and not the rubber tire version or the Motor Speedway of the South version, where he is in the quote-unquote Nitro-Wade model. This, I think, is a better, more accurate model anyways, but it's not accurate with the wheels. Sensei Luminous, again, correcting Mattel's errors, adding that beautiful red trim to the gray wheels, making it look a lot better. Some great contrast there. Now, the expression. Guys, we saw with Rusty, the eyes were changed. The mouth stayed the same. That won't always be the case, especially with cars like this, where they started off smiling. We can't have that. You're not smiling after taking a beating. So he sanded away the expression. And bam, you're left with that. Awesome. Now Dale, again, kind of like Rusty, did not get super banged up on his left side here. You could just see a little bit of a black imprint where some paint rubbed off on him, but nothing too wild. Again, the back, pretty much unscathed as well. The roof. His right side is where the beating took place, scraping off almost all of that paint there. And you can feel how rough that is. And I love that. It just gives it a gritty, realistic sensation. You can see the tires also taking a beating here with some of the Lightyear text wearing off on the front and back. Just love that. It's awesome. This is not a Motor Speedway of the South version of Dale, so I guess not each and every one will be, but McQueen Chick will still be. So yeah, Dale escaping relatively unscathed, as far as all these racers go, but still taking a little bit of a beating. But yeah, I mean, the best thing about him is the expression change. Like I said, Sensei Luminous took care of the mouth here. You had to kind of chip away at it a little bit, and that's why it's sunken in there a little bit, but I think that looks good. Like, I think that looks legit, and obviously a little droopiness in the eyes there, making him look as he should after he just got on the side. That is the best way to verbalize that, just a sound effect. I don't have a verb for what happened to the side of him there. Are we going to continue numerically? Why not give it a shot here? We got a lot of high numbers, like a lot of high numbers. I do think 35 might be the next one up here, and that is Kevin Racingtire. Now, the Thailand version was used here, and that is why he is a little more pinkish, whereas the Motor Speedway, the South version, was still when they were pumping them out red and yellow, which is pretty inaccurate, not going to lie. Really kind of wish that they had corrected that sooner. It took them until 2015 to correct the color for Kevin Shiftright there. And again, another instance where, yeah, you got the wheel color correct this time, unlike with Rusty, but you forgot the trim. So Sensei went ahead and added the pink trim to the white wheels there, making it look very, very accurate. Now, compared to the last two racers we just reviewed, Kevin got it a lot worse. He got banged around by a lot of different cars. And actually now is a great time to kind of stop and pause and show a couple images of the crash there in Cars 1. I mean, we remember it, but why not kind of just take a moment here, show a couple images of how it all went down. You can see some of the racers that we will be seeing later on in the video. And you can, again, compare to how accurate you think they ended up as a diecast based on what we see in the movie. Some of these I see quite often because I use these images in my case reveals. Like when I say, hey, there's two Kevin Shiftrights in the next case, I toss an image from the crash because that's sometimes the best shot that we got at some of these racers here. But yeah, Kevin Racingtire for Shifty Drug got it pretty bad. I honestly don't know what happened to his hood here, where he's got this like hole. It looks like someone put out a cigarette on him, but it's just a big hole in the middle of his hood with like a white, I don't know, something like one of the bolts came loose. I don't know, but that's awesome. Really cool and really precise to actually make that happen there. You can see he's got some yellow paint worn off on his left side here. He's got some blue on his right side, so he kind of almost made a bad joke there. Yeah, he bumped up against a variety of other racers there. You can see here some more of that yellow wearing off there, some chippage at his number. The roof, relatively unscathed, but yeah, really busted up here in the back where his bumper got smushed all the way up, disconnecting it from the chassis there. And I absolutely love it. You can see all the blackness here around the fenders and the bumper there, some chippage along the edge of the bumper and the edge of his spoiler. Just looks absolutely phenomenal. You got to go kind of hard on some of these. Like, not everyone can escape like Dale and Rusty just with a few scratches and blemishes. No, yeah, Rusty had a little bit of the upwards movement there in the back, but nothing like we're seeing here with Kevin. And that's why I absolutely love, the realism, the undying commitment to the realism and not sparing any car. Every car has to, they kind of have to follow what happened into the movie. And unfortunately, some got the short end of the stick. But that's awesome. Definitely one of my favorites of this batch just because of how bad Kevin got banged up there. All right, we got 36 here, and that is Eugene Carbureski. Probably another one of my favorites, maybe even more so than Kevin in this batch, because not only is Tank Coat one of my favorite sponsors as it is, but the expression here is to die for. He's basically one-eyed now. He's got that eye so swollen and shut because of what happened on his left side, which we can see by all the gray scratches on his roof too. That's crazy. I know Sensei had an absolute blast making these, just thinking in their head like, oh yeah, man, yeah. Eugene really took it hard. Absolutely a brutal beat down. And yeah, I mean, just almost diabolical. But hey, let's be honest, we all would have enjoyed it. So yes, as you can see here, this left front tire here, oh, crunched blackness. I mean, look how pink it was before. Now it's all darkened up. A lot of the Lightyear text worn off. And whatever happened, you know, brushing up against the wall maybe, brushing up against other cars, resulted in this gray, very much so like a bare metal type of look of the scratch here along the side. The top half, because the bottom half pretty unscathed there, right? And then the roof here, almost like a car kind of landed on him like this. But that's awesome. And again, it makes sense that his eye is swollen over there because of how much of a beating he took on this left side. So I absolutely love that. You can see how it kind of blends even onto the back here with the blackness and the scratches. Really cool. And Sensei gave me updates the entire time, which was so awesome to kind of follow along with the progress, seeing the pictures of how, you know, they started, how they were in progress, and then how they turned out. And yeah, on this side, pretty good. A little bit on this right side here, but most of the beating for Eugene took place on that left side, unfortunately for him. And absolutely love that expression. Just such a good job there. All right, 39, I believe, would be our next one if we're going numerically. And it is none other than Ryan Shields in Vuezine. 2 racers that will actually be released from Thailand for the first time this year. Non-metallic. I know Ryan Shields got a metallic release from Thailand. That does not count here. But again, wow. Just wow. To be bent up in the back is one thing, like Kevin Racingtire. To be bent up in the front and have your face distorted is a completely different thing. And that's unfortunately what Ryan here is going from. I mean, look at that, how far the chassis has been separated. I mean, look at how, yeah, that's where the little tube kind of comes down where he gets riveted in. That's all bent up. Oh my goodness. And this is where that expression really works in terms of the mouth, and then you just tweak the eyes a little bit and you have a completely different, very highly disgruntled look, just ticked off, and I'm here for it. Yeah, you can see he got beat up on the left side there. Wheel pretty good in the back here. Got a little scratching, a little bit of a ding there on the wing or the spoiler. Just wait till we get to some of the ones that have some spoiler damage, guys. I think there are some in here like that, and yeah, I'm excited to see how Sensei handled that. You could see some damage here on the back. And then, yep, the right side did not hide either. This back wheel losing some of that Lightyear text. Some green paint rubbing off, so maybe a little rubbage against James Cleanair, four-wheel drive, maybe even Murray Clutchburn. Because some of these connect more with the previous batch's racers, because again, we're being accurate to the movie, and who was in first batch for second batch, it was just completely arbitrary on how they got categorized. It was just who was available at the time and who was available now and who we really needed to fill in for the second part here. Which, yeah, this is going to be sad. Now, I will definitely do a video for all of them. Like, there will be a video eventually with everyone in it. So this is not the end. This is not the end of the Damaged Cars 1 Piston Cup Racers segment. It just is part 2, and there'll probably be like a conclusion at some point, maybe in a year or two. And here we have Johnny Blamer for four-wheel drive, number 54. Now, I don't know if it was intentional that his wheel got ripped off here. That is just how I opened the bag up and saw the wheel was a separate piece from the car in the package. Maybe it broke off in shipment. I don't care. It's better this way. It's better that the wheel is different. Sensei probably told me. I just am forgetting. But I'm totally cool either way. This is awesome. It provides a great little prop. And yeah, again, Johnny Blamer, he struggled a little bit. I love that expression, how his eyes are almost completely shut. It's like he got two green eyes or two black eyes, as we would say. Yeah, that front side here. Oh my God, some bare metal there with some blue paint rubbing off. This is the Thailand variant of him, by the way. Jesus, in the morning. This back part looks good. Roof looks fine. Hood looks good. But just, yeah, on the flanks there. Oh, the back looks good. Oh my God. yeah, just completely all those decals scraped away. Hence why he's losing this wheel. So cool. I don't even know how Sensei managed to do that, where you still got this wheel on there perfectly, rolls great, and then this other one just cut clean off. That's awesome. Yeah, look at, you got some damage up front there. Most of it right here, though. And this is one of my favorite Piston Cup racers of all time. I love how the Motor Speedway, the South version, looks just so clean and crisp. That paint is just beautiful. You could feel it when you touch them, too. I'm not kidding, guys. You could feel how smooth the finishes with these Motor Speedway, the South versions, compared to just like the rubber tire version of this guy that came out in 2010. I mean, it's still a good product, but it's nothing compared to this. Now, obviously, the downside to the Motor Speedway, the South versions with all this great paint is the fact that the paint then was open for deterioration and just didn't have the longevity as the cheaper paint, I guess, or the paint that they used in just regular releases. And we'll have a great example of that coming up here soon. After 54, I think we're going to go 61 here with James Cleanair, and he's going to ruffle some feathers there. Poor Winford was using him as a crutch, but we'll get to Winford next, being number 64. But yes, James Cleanair here, again, a Thailand variant that was used, just again, way easier to acquire than the Chinese version, and we didn't really want to resort to, I should say, a factory custom, which we had to with Eugene, I believe, and maybe Misti, but all the other ones were legit Mattel releases. But at the end of the day, I don't mind using a factory custom because it's going to get beat up anyways. And you can see here, James didn't have a horrible time. You can see he got battered, absolutely battered. This front side here with some pinkish paint. Maybe he caught Eugene or Kevin Racingtire, so that's not ideal for him. And man, those contingency sponsors are just gone. Wow. I mean, probably for the best because it's a Thailand variant, so they're blurry. 61 getting thrashed a little bit. Some blue paint wearing off there. This is just bare metal back here. Wow. Now the gas cap kind of got drilled into a little bit. Hopefully no oil leakage. Don't want that. A little bit. I love how realistic that looks, guys. Doesn't that just look like casual car damage that you would see on, even just a car in the parking lot? Just some scrapes from something that clipped your corner, right? You do have some spoiler damage there and some more side damage here. Just a clawing, kind of like Wolverine claws or Black Panther, just scratching at the sides of him. But the roof and the hood look pretty good. And structurally, he's not too beat up. A little bit of axle jostling going on here, though. So he doesn't roll perfectly anymore. And obviously, the eyes are altered there on the bottom. So that's really cool, guys. Man, it's going to be really hard determining a favorite out of all of these. And you guys got to let me know as well, which one is your favorite? Have you guys ever attempted to make damaged Piston Cup Racer customs? Because I think, it's a relatively low barrier to entry. Like, a lot of people can try these. And then there's a lot of movement in between. Like, you don't necessarily, like, even though anyone could probably attempt these and take a hammer to a car, there is a lot of room for improvement or to really be exceptional in making these customs, despite there being a low barrier to entry. And that's a great thing. Anyone can try it, but hey, you can definitely tell the really good from just the okay and the good. Here we have Winford, Bradford, Rutherford, number 64. This one really hits close to home because Chick Hicks hits him to initiate the whole crash. Chick Hicks gets him there up on the side. Dynaco is all mine. I'm not going to try and reenact the wail that Winford lets out after Chick hits him. It doesn't, I mean, I don't really think anyone should try and reenact that because it is a tough, what's a good word? Just a brutal sound. Poor Winford. I mean, that's all we could really say here. But again, this is a Thailand variant that was used. One where, see, they got the trim right here. Sensei did not have to intervene and paint that yellow trim on. That was already there. It's crazy that they got that one right. Now, what's great about Winford here, he's got this big circular dent on that front bumper there. I don't know where it came from. You could see some blue paint rubbed off here, but look at that. Look at that just perfectly circular spherical dent there. Really cool. Got some lime green paint there on the side. Again, not really sure where that came from. Could have been a racer in a previous batch. Some damage there on the spoiler along the edge. Yeah, he definitely should have taken... Oh, you know what? Yep, this green here on this side is for sure Chick Hicks, because that's where he got hit, right there. You can see a little bit of a crack, yellow crack through the number there. Really cool. More damage here on this side, because that is where he took the initial hit. Oh, man, look at how Sensei kind of sanded down, carved out this portion just to make him look more mangled. That's awesome. I love that. When you start altering the metal and twisting that up, that's when you really get me going. And the expression looks really good on this guy. Again, just kind of narrowing the focus of the eyes, making him look like he's in pain, which I know sounds horrible, but hey, that is what realism entails. You gotta make it look like they're suffering, because they were. Poor Winford. Winford also has this gash in his grill here, which is really cool. I really want to know the set of tools that Sensei used, and that would be a great video for her to make. Just make a video how I made Mr. Dockett's damaged racers. I think that would be very successful for her. But moving past Winford here on to number 68. Hopefully I have been consistent with the numbering so far. Manny Flywheel for N2O. And this is that perfect example of how the Motor Speedway of the South paint, despite being, like I said, the best of the best, has its downfalls. It just doesn't have the longevity. It doesn't hold up as well as your tile and paint now, which, I mean, obviously, Thailand just started making cars in 2018. In 2030, we'll have a little bit of a better idea of how that paint's held up. But compared to a 2009 Manny Flywheel or even a 2014 Manny Flywheel, the Motor Speedway of the South version just sometimes, and this can apply to any car, it's not necessarily Manny, not necessarily Ryan Shields. It could have been anyone, right? For me, in my set here, Manny's one of them. And I'm grateful that it really is just kind of Manny. I have a couple Motor Speedway of the South sets. I know Ryan is really bad in one, Transberry Juice really bad in one. Fortunately, the cars that are in this model, like the leafless model, don't, knock on wood, get it that bad. Fortunately, neither my Apple or Dale Earnhardt Jr. cars are bad either. Again, knock on wood. But here Manny is. Yeah, I mean, you can see the cracks in his paint, especially through the eyelids there. You can see just kind of some streaks on the roof there. That's not really the worst part, though. The worst part is he's begun to expand. This is what I meant earlier by expansion. And I don't know how this happens. It's just the chemicals in the paint. And you can see, I would not be surprised, especially with me handling them the way I'm handling them right now, if a chunk of metal just cracks off. You can see already the crack right there at the bottom where it's beginning to expand. You could see a crack over here, a little crackage there, and definitely some there, although that looks a little bit more horizontal than the vertical crack that you could see here. Hopefully that's not the case. I'd rather not. I'd rather keep him in one piece, even if he's in bad shape. But yeah, it's tough to see. It's like he's trying to fly away, use his sides as wings, but hey, that's not how it works, buddy. I do have the Thailand version here as a backup, though, just in case this guy fails in terms of the comparison, but we'll let him go for it. Yeah, again, you can see even on the spoiler there, I have to show you. Oh, man, that looks horrible. That sucks. It's like, what the hell, Mattel? I mean, I know you made the super exclusive set, really beautiful paint, like I said, but how do you let this happen? Like, really? But yeah, you can see the expression was changed here, making him look a little distressed. Taking a good beating there on the right side, just a bare metal, no color swappage necessarily. Interesting. Ooh, ooh, looks like he got rear-ended or something. That is black. Wow. Wonder what the story is with this one exactly. And again, Sensei will probably be down in the comment section below answering some of your guys' questions on, what correlates to what connects with what. Love this black semicircle here. Again, wonder where that came from. Wonder where this little mini scratch came from. Really cool. Ooh, that's another interesting one. Just some weird spots that took damage. Yeah, that's awesome. and better. Yeah, again, it just creates mystery, mystique. This is another weird one, just a random gash there on the hood. It's like maybe a tire kind of flung up and hit him and grazed him and just kind of cut open his hood there. That's super cool, guys. That's what we want. Theorize, speculate, and hopefully, yeah, I will definitely nudge Sensei to be down in the comments talking with you guys, as will I. All right, so that was 68. I know we have a 73 here. I think that, yeah, that would probably be next in Misti Motorkrass. The Rev-N-Go racer. The only sponsor from Cars 3 to not have a named Cars 3 stock car. Unfortunately, it's not Wayne Dasher or Wayne Doorman. It's like, oh my God, it's crazy how many people think that's actually his legit name. Nope, that's just some random guy coming up with it. Like if I could have easily come up with a name and put it on the Wikipedia or the wiki, and everyone would have thought that that was the name. It's not. Sorry to burst your guys' bubble. Now, Misti made it out not so bad. I mean, lost some decalage for sure, some hair, if you will. She's number 13 now, maybe. Yeah, definitely not number 73 anymore. That got wiped away. Despite the contingency sponsors remaining unscathed there, just the way the impact happened, it kind of wiped off this portion. Again, the gas cap getting sunken in a little bit more there. This back tire really taking a shot, whereas the front tire, again, just unscathed. This is a factory custom that was used, I'm pretty sure. Definitely looks that way. In the back here, you got some green paint that rubbed off on her. This side, perfect. So, yeah, probably out of all the racers, she may have been one of the better ones, along with Dale. But, yeah, she still is wincing a little bit there. All right, that was 73. We have 79 here. Nope, 76, Crusty Rotor. Wait your turn, hauling gas. We got Crusty Rotor here to deal with. And, man, I'm loving what I'm seeing here. Just, oh, yeah, look at that tire in the back there. But just a smassage up here on the right corner. Definitely drove into something, hit it on the right side, and there you go. You got tire issues, you got decal issues, you got an eye issue here. That eye almost engulfed in the swollenness there. And yeah, also got dinged up here in the back where this tire is super limpy. And yeah, some bent metal again, which I love to see, guys. Super scraped up. That's so cool. Again, this is where you know, like, Sensei had a blast making these and coming up with some storylines, taking some liberties while also adhering to what happens in the movie. I'm sure some people will have some of their own opinions, like, hey, it shouldn't have been that bad, but no, Crusty shouldn't have taken that back hit. No. I'm fine with it. Like, have at it. Sensei will probably, state her piece and be a good conversation. I love that right there, though. It just makes Crusty look corrupted a little bit, like Shadow Realm. The Shadow Zone is getting to him a little bit. Battle Force 5 reference to anyone there who knows what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Hauling gas, kind of like Ryan Shields here. He got bent up in the front portion. Never good, but hey, at least Sensei corrected his wheels to make them accurate with that red trim there. Looking really good. But yeah, definitely hit something in the front here. On the front right side, that elevated that bumper, separated from the chassis. Never a good look there. But yeah, some scratches, some yellow paint that wiped off here. Again, another one of those semicircles. Probably a tire mark or something. Sensei could probably explain it better as to what that is. We've seen it now on a couple of these racers. I like how the expression's been changed a little bit there. This is the Thailand variant. You got green paint on this side. So yeah, swap and spit with a couple different colored cars. Ooh, also a little bent up here in the back. Check that out. I didn't even realize that. And that's hard to do because, you're kind of, compromising the integrity and the structure of the car by removing like where they're riveted at. You can see both of these rivet points here, but it's still really solid. Still rolls pretty good. So yeah, Sensei did, again, a great job. Cannot say it enough. Just love the yellow on this side. Love the green on this side. And here's maybe where the Thailand elongated axles on this model of Piston Cup Racer come in handy. Just making it look jostled, making it look a little more messed up than it probably should be. All right, so Hall and Gas down. Now, who is up next? Is it Murray Clutchburn 92? No, it is Davey Apex 84. Yes, that's right. All right. And then we'll be on the Chick Hicks. That's wild. All right. Now, this is actually funny. I got Davey here long ago. This was from one of the previous batches that Sensei had, and she just made this one up real quick and sent along, probably with the Cars 3 Next Gens or something. This is a factory custom that was used, even though Thailand variant probably, it was not too hard to acquire. But yeah, it's crazy that this was, I actually received this years ago, but I had to wait for all the rest of them to be completed to finally utilize him. Again, you got that black tire mark there. You got some blue and purple paint rubbed up against on that side. Really cool expression change as well. This is a great example, though, I think, of how Sensei has developed and evolved, because I can even tell between this and some of the other ones that she got better as time went on. And even though this one is really well done, I don't think it's quite as well done as some of the other ones. But yeah, both of these tires, you got the text worn off, 84 evaporated. Whatever happened on this right side here. Wonderful. Glad I didn't forget to include Davey. I almost tried to forget him, but fortunately, he managed to get back into my head. All right, Chick Hicks here, yeah. Oh, I didn't even compare Davey to anyone. How dare me. I cannot believe I missed that there. Davey just threw me off with this fun little story. It is a little wild how many times they've released Dave now. Dave Alternators, Davey Apex, whatever you want to call him. Don't call him TG Castlenet, though. Shot at Mattel. As a Thailand variant, though, yeah, recently he's gotten maybe a little too much attention from Thailand in that regard. But moving on to Chick Hicks here. This is more of a Fantasyland type of one that doesn't actually happen in the Cars movie or really anything. But we can imagine, I'm sure Chick was involved at a crash or in a crash at some point in his career. And yeah, Sensei Luminous went full creative liberties here, banged up his poor mustache. Dude, you didn't have to touch the mustache, come on. But yeah, grinded off that front bumper there down to the bare metal of it. And I think the head can here is that grinded up against McQueen. And I will support that argument here in a moment here, but you can see the red paint on this side. All the way to the back there. Really cool. That side's fine. More red paint on this side, so maybe McQueen got them on both ends. That's pretty cool. Slight expression change there as well, but the main thing here with him is just that front bumper, just all the paint getting ground off. And a little mini chip there on the spoiler. All right, now we can get to Murray Clutchburn here. This is a Thailand variant of him, so that's why the color's a little bit different. Expression change to the fullest here. Yeah, definitely going to have a black eye or whatever they call it, equivalent in the Cars universe. I love the paint rubbage on this one. You got yellow up here in the front, and then blue. It's almost like paint spilled on. That's kind of how it looks, especially with the white there in the background. It looks so good. I'm trying to think, maybe Kevin Shiftright just kind of hit him at an awkward angle, and that's why it's so high here. But yeah, even this wheel took a little bit of a beating. This damage here looks so legit. Minimal, but really realistic damage right along the edge of that bumper there. Some kind of more black marks here. Ooh, just a big splotch taken off there. That's really cool. That's super interesting. More damage here on this side. So yeah, Murray, unfortunately, he struggled. He did not have a good time. But hey, he was still racing, evidently, in Cars 3, so he made it out of this one and continued his racing career. Maybe this is what prompted him to get such a weird model change to what we saw him at in Cars 3. All right, it is Lightning McQueen time. Oh my God. Now I know you guys are going to be like, wow, that expression is crazy. And yeah, it is crazy because McQueen, we can't have him smiling, dude. You are taking hits and you are taking them from Chick Hicks. He's got the green paint that rubbed off on his side, supporting my argument. I'm sure that's what Sensei had in mind. You got the green paint on the other side as well. And poor McQueen got worse than Chick Hicks with this wheel getting a little banged up. Kind of reminiscent to the LA Speedway race at the end where they do grind up against each other and then McQueen's tire does go flat or it does pop there. But to remove this smile had to have taken some work just because of how deep that actually goes. So you have to really get down in there and scrape out all that metal. That's crazy. I'm sure that was a workout for the arm. Like I'm sure some sort of forearm muscle was used in just carving out all the metal there. That's crazy, guys. I love it. Now, you could say, Mr. Docketer, why didn't you have Sensei use like the determined version of McQueen or the aggro version? Well, those are pretty rare, and we don't necessarily want to sacrifice one of those to the damaged custom gods where, you know, Sensei is fully capable of just making up a new expression herself. This looks phenomenal as it is. And yeah, we're very happy with how it turned out. I love this wheel here. Just waggling. That's the best way to describe it. Wobbly, waggling. But yeah, the green paint there shouts Chick Hicks to me. And this is a version of McQueen without that Rust-eze logo there on the spoiler. And so is the Motor Speedway, the South version, obviously, because it came out before 2010 when they actually finally started using that spoiler decal on just regular McQueens. They started on like variants of him, like the impound version in 2009 and whatnot, but didn't start putting it on just the regular version until I think around 2010. All right, so that was 95. I know we got 121 here. Is anyone higher than that? If not, hold your peace. I think it's Clutch Aid's turn. Ending on Clutch Aid. Did we go fully numerically this whole time? That'd be pretty awesome. All right, Kevin Shiftright here. So both Kevins made it into this second part here. The battle of the Kevins continues. You know, it's on the pegs at Walmart. Now it's here on the battlefield for the damaged racers. Who got damaged the most? Is that how you win this? Or who got damaged the least? I don't know. I feel like maybe it should be the most. But this is not really a pity award either. Yeah, I love how the expression got changed here on both, you know, the top and bottom there, making them look wincy. Since they add the blue trim to make those wheels accurate. You got some white paint rubbing off there. Again, a big gash through the numbers there, chipping away at some of the contingency sponsors. Got bent up here a little bit in the back. Nothing crazy like we've seen. I just love how these wheels look. Look how much better they look with that blue added in there. Roof is pretty much unscathed. Back is pretty much unscathed besides the elevation. Oh, yes. I love this here. Look at that lime green paint splattered across his side. It is really kind of cool how paint can transfer when you start to rub up on other things. And it's totally how it happens IRL too. It's like, wow. Wow. I'm geeking out, guys. I'm geeking out. Is this the last Piston Cup racer from Cars 1 to review damage? I think it was. Final look over here. And yeah, we've done everyone, guys. That's crazy. But wow, what a long video, but what a worth it video. I couldn't imagine a world where this video was under 30 minutes with, you know, how many racers we did here. All the stuff I wanted to talk about, bring it full circle with that part 1 from 2018. 6.5 years in the making. It's all thanks to you guys. I mean, if the support wasn't there back in the day, you probably would not have seen videos for World Grand Prix racers damage, Cars 3 Next Gens, Cars 3 stock cars, you know, who are a little bit more on the fantasy side of things. But all those videos have been super successful. Really thanks to you guys. You guys are the best audience I could ask for. Sensei Luminous, the best customizer that I could ask for. Let me know in the comments below who's your favorite. You can see these two were definitely rubbing up against each other. Yeah, you could tell based on that expression too. They are angry, McQueen especially there. Yeah, you're messing up my nice paint, man. All right. bring in the squad here. Let me know who your favorite is. Have you attempted any damaged racers customs in your time? Show me pictures. Send me them on Instagram, in my Discord, wherever you can find me. I would love to see what you've been working on. Thank you so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. Man, what the hell? 6.5 years, here we are. What a journey. All thanks to you. Feels great. Bye now.